everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. And today I wanted to show you how I made the card that I shared as part of the Creativity Abounds blog hop that went live today. We're a group of demonstrators from around the world. We have demonstrators in Canada, the US, the UK, and Australia. And we have such a great time when we do these blog hops and our tutorials. So if you purchase, put an order in with me in the course of June, you will get the tutorial that includes 13 masculine projects. So every month we do a blog hop, and every month we have a tutorial that we put together, and you can purchase it or you can get it for free with an order. So we have such fun, and we also do stamp camps. So we have one coming up at the end of July featuring the Hues of Happiness. If you're interested in that, just ping me and let me know. If you're in Canada, you can purchase from me. And if you're not in Canada and you're from either Australia, the UK, or the US, I can put you in touch with a demonstrator that you can get the project that you need. All right, let me show you the card. I have used, this is my masculine card, and I have used the Brewed For You bundle. I love this bundle. If you have someone who loves beer in your family or friends, then this bundle is for you. It's just such a fun suite. And I knew my husband loves beer, so I knew that I had to actually have this suite or this bundle when I saw it in the catalog. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. All right, so this is the bundle. It is a photopolymer stamp. It's two-step stamping and has these great, a beer stein and a beer glass. And then, this glass that I actually had one of these the other day when I had some certain kind of beer. I don't know what kind of beer gets this kind of glass, but occasionally I get it. And then, of course, the growler. And the sentiment that really hit home for me was this, I owe you one, because my husband is always saying that when I ask him to do something, he'll say, yep, but you owe me a beer. So I'm pretty sure I owe him many beers for all the work that he does. So this is the stamp set, again, photopolymer, and then the great dies that cut out all of these different shapes. All right. Let's put that back so I don't lose it. There we go. All right, so here's the card that I shared as part of the blog hop that went live. And so I've used the stamps to create a background, as well as putting two of the beer steins with the foam on it in the middle of the card, and then some of the rustic metallic dots. This ribbon that I've used is the frayed Whisper White or frayed white ribbon that was part of the Artfully Composed suite, but it got carried over in the annual catalog, and I really like it. It's just kind of fun ribbon. Okay, so you need a piece of, I've got crumb cake cardstock that is cut 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score this in half at 5 1/2. You could use 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then you would score it at 4 1/4. Whichever card base you kind of like. And as always, you're going to fold into the mountain. This is the side I score on. This is the raised line or mountain. Fold into the mountain, use your bone folder, and you will get a much better crease. Okay, so there's my card base. Now I've got a piece of crushed curry that is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then a piece of soft suede that is cut 3 3/4 by 5. Now let me just get some blocks out that I need. So we're going to use the beer stein, and then we're going to use, we need this foam. Might as well get all my stamps out, and then we need the I owe you one or several, and we need the inside to make the beer. It's going to be kind of a dark beer. It's going to be done in crushed curry. But the first thing that we need to do is we're going to stamp in early espresso, and we're just going to create a bit of a random, well, not so much, but a background of the beer steins using the stamp. So I'm going to start in the middle, because it just kind of gets me, use my grid lines. Oops, turn it over because I actually pressed down a little bit. All right. So use your grid lines, and I'm roughly going to put a stamp in the middle. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to stamp in either direction. Now, I think on my original card, I either used soft suede or I stamped off, but this is okay. I've got early espresso in this one, so it's a little darker, but that's okay. And then we're going to just turn it and go above and below. So starting in the middle just kind of helps me line up where I want things to go. That and like that and like that. Again, just creating a background just so that the soft suede isn't just kind of plain. It just creates kind of some interest and detail on the front of your card. All right, so we're going to adhere this down. Yeah, I definitely think on my original card I used soft suede. So whatever you'd like to use, this is just going to look a little bit darker than the original. That's okay. Okay, so this gets adhered on, and now this piece can adhere on to the front of the card. There. Okay, so now I want to take a piece of this frayed white ribbon. Oh, these dimensional backings end up everywhere. And I just want to cut it about 4 inches or 3 3/4 inches. It's really just going to go across the middle of the card. So if you cut it 4 inches, it'll go across from the edge to the edge of the crushed curry. And if you cut it 3 3/4 inches, it'll go across for the soft suede. And I'm just going to take my seal and run a strip of seal across there. And that will be what holds this in place. There we go. Okay. Now let's create our beer steins. So I'm going to stamp 2 beer steins. Again, you can use soft suede, or I'm going to use, since I'm kind of on a early espresso kick. Got a hair on there. Oh well, I'm going to cover that up. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp 2 of the foam. All right, and then I might as well stamp my sentiment while I'm at it. Get all my early espresso stamping out of the way. Oh, and one more. This is the inside of the card. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we're just going to stamp a beer stein here in the corner. There, now I've got all my stamping with early espresso out of the way. And now I'm going to stamp with crushed curry. So this is going to be the inside, the kind of the beer. So you could color this with your blends. And so you could make it some, different colors. I've done Daffodil Delight and crumb cake to make it a little bit lighter beer. There we go. And I think I forgot. I did. I have to grab crumb cake. It's here. All right, I need some crumb cake blends, and I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring. Just on the. You could use the light. I've grabbed the dark, whatever works. We're just going to add a little bit of color to that. And now we can go ahead. I'm going to bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in. And we'll do the cutting that we need to cut. So this piece, little bits all over the place. There we go. So that will go. And what we need are this and this. There we go. Just the 2 pieces. And I'm going to use Post-it note tape. You could use a Post-it note, but I just want to hold this in place while we're cutting it because it's a stamped image. Sometimes I don't want it to shift. So a Post-it note works. Washi tape, if you have washi tape, that works too. We'll just use that. Holding that in place while we run it through. All right, so we can lift that off. If you're careful, this can be reused again. So there's one. So we'll put this back on and cut the second one out. That and the same with our spear stein. There we go. I'm going to fussy cut my sentiment. If you follow me, you know that I tend to fussy cut sentiments out. I don't know what's got me in that habit, but I don't know. It seems to be a habit I'm in. All right. So we've got our second beer stein. If you're using this Post-it note tape, just save it because you can reuse it. This piece wants to tear a little bit. That's okay. All right, there we go. And then we'll save that. I have to cut that out to put that back. Okay, so we've got our two beer steins. We've got our two foam pieces. We've got the inside of the card. Okay, so these pieces are just going to use, I'm going to use dimensionals. Get that. And we're just going to put them in the middle of the card like that. It's pretty quick, pretty easy card to make. Not anything really difficult about this. Just a little bit of die cutting, stamping a background. That's okay. So we'll get one here and the other one like that. And now you can use a dimensional on this as well. I'm just going to use one at the top. If you want more, you're probably going to have to use mini dimensionals or cut them, but we're just going to put that right on the top like that. And this one on the top like that. Okay, and while we're at it, we can put this on the inside of the card. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is. Mine tends to be liquid glue these days. Okay, there. Now we need a sentiment. So I've already gone ahead and cut this or stamped this. So I'm just going to take and cut this. Like I said, I often just fussy cut. You can use a die or a punch, whatever works for you. But this just, I'm not really too worried about if it's not completely straight. Sometimes that's a good thing. All right, now I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of this. And when it's somewhat long, this is probably about 2.5 inches or so long, I tend to put 3 on just so it holds it. And I've got a piece of Cajun Craze, and I'm just adhering this on to that Cajun Craze. And I'm gonna I've got it so it's just maybe 1/8 of an inch on each side of it, so it has a bit of a border. Whoops. There we go. And you can take and trim it, but I'm okay with it not being perfectly straight. And we will just use dimensionals to adhere this on as well. Lots of dimensionals on this card. There we go. All right, and then the last thing I want to do is these are the rustic metallic adhesive back dots. So we're just going to take and put some of these. These coordinate with the He's the Man suite, but I just really love them for any kind of masculine card. 3 on. There we go. I like to put embellishments on, and sometimes pearls and things don't fit very well for a masculine card, but these do. Okay, so there's the card. I'll bring in the original. You can see that I did it slightly different here. I think the difference really is the fact that I used soft suede on this one and early espresso, but it looks good in either of them. Either color works. And there's the inside and the inside. So really cool card for one of a man in your life, or maybe a female friend in your life that loves beer. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. All of the written instructions and measurements and in supply list for this card are on the blog post, and you can find the link to the blog post underneath this video. Also, if you take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be notified when I go live or when I post a video tutorial. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.